It's a pretty light day of new PlayStation 4 game releases tomorrow. However, there are still 4 new PS4 games coming tomorrow that I definitely want to highlight. We've got the release of a major fighting game, we've got a free-to-play title, we've got another interesting game, and we've got a VR title that I am incredibly excited for. A lot of potential out of Separation on PSVR, which I'll highlight at the end of this video, but a lot to get over, so let's just get right into this. First up, we have Granblue Fantasy Versus, which is dropping tomorrow. Now, this is an incredibly exciting fighting game, and I'm surprised to see how much anticipation there is for Granblue Fantasy Versus. Now, I knew that there would be a section of the PlayStation 4 audience that would be excited for this game. However, personally speaking and anecdotally speaking, it seems like based on what I'm seeing, there's a lot more excitement than I would have initially expected. Now, obviously, this isn't the Granblue game the majority of people have been waiting for. I know a lot of you guys are looking for the Granblue Fantasy Project Relink. However, it looks like that's still gonna be a little ways away, but for now, we have Granblue Fantasy Versus, and Granblue Fantasy Versus power, skill, and spirit collide in a quest to find the true champion of the sky. Players can take on AI opponents or fight against human opponents in local or online 2-player matches. Japan's mega hit RPG Granblue Fantasy has topped the charts, charming players across the globe with a plethora of lovable characters and story-driven mechanics. Now, Arc System Works and Side Games are teaming up to bring the universe to home consoles in an action-packed head-to-head fighter, featuring a colorful cast of their most popular crew members, each with a unique fighting style that is easy to learn but hard to master. Granblue Fantasy Versus will appeal to fans of Granblue lore and fighting games alike. Granblue Fantasy will also include an RPG mode that features an all-new original story told beautifully through rendered cutscenes, so this is going to be an element of the game that I think a lot of you guys that might not have inherent interest in a fighting game, however, you were excited for the JRPG element of Granblue Fantasy, that element might actually draw you into the fighting game and Versus as well. Featuring deep action RPG gameplay, in this mode, players take on waves of enemies and formidable primal beasts solo or by teaming up with a friend in local or online cooperative play. Local cooperative play is something I'm always going to be behind, so another game adding that is definitely exciting. Along the way, they'll develop their fighters with a comprehensive character and weapon upgrade system recognizable to all Granblue Fantasy fans. The mysterious hooded figure, aka the Chaos Bringer, featured in Granblue Fantasy's popular What Makes the Sky Blue series of events, was revealed at the Granblue Fantasy Fest 2019 as the final boss for RPG mode. His true name will be revealed in the midst of the game. Chaos Bringer will also be unlockable as a playable character by completing the RPG mode, or you could go the other route of purchasing the Season 1 DLC. But you don't just get Chaos Bringer with the Season 1 DLC. The Season 1 DLC will also include playable characters, Narmaya, Sores, Digita, and a 5th character to be revealed, and there's a lot more details about the DLC itself in a separate post. So Granblue Fantasy Versus is a fighting game that I think has a lot of potential, and I think it could turn out rather well. I think this is also going to be the kind of fighting game where not a lot of ardent fans of fighting games might also give it a chance based on its awesome art style. This game definitely has that art style element of Granblue Relink that so many people got excited about when they initially saw that JRPG. That art style really holds true in this fighting game as well. Yes, I know the question coming out of this is gonna be, when is Relink gonna come out? At this point, we don't have any idea in regards to that game. There was some development shifts regarding that game with Platinum Games dropping off. However, it still seems like it's making a considerable amount of progress. I think Versus is going to be a good game to hold us over in the meantime, and even maybe if you weren't excited for Relink, but you want a high-quality fighting game, I do think Granblue Fantasy Versus is going to be right up your alley. There were actually reviews already posted because one of the international versions of the game had an English language option, and it's being reviewed relatively well. So Granblue Fantasy Versus, for fighting game fans, for fans of the Granblue lore and universe, it's definitely going to be something up your alley. I should note that there's a variety of different editions. There's the $59.99 physical standard edition, there's the digital standard edition, so of course that's the game only. You've got the physical premium edition, that'll include the art book, original soundtrack, mobile code, you've got a theme and avatar set, limited edition box and color pack. The character pass set will include the mobile code, the game itself, the character pass, of course, the PS4 theme and avatar set, and the color pack, and then there is also the deluxe pack that includes everything from the digital pack I just mentioned and some other in-game goodies. The character pass set is probably the one you want to buy, given the fact that you definitely want the DLC out of a fighting game like this. It's a bummer with fighting games. It seems like they all want to go the season pass route, and I guess Revenue-wise, financially, it's probably a really good idea, but man, it's still a bummer that inherently we've upped the price of fighting games artificially to $79.99 or sometimes even more so. Look at a game like Dragon Ball FighterZ. How many character passes has that game gotten? And if you're talking about a game you started off by spending $59.99 on and then you're buying the character passes as they come out, you know, it's kind of pricey, but whatever the case may be, Granblue Fantasy Versus is out tomorrow. Alright, moving on from that, we've got a brand new free-to-play title that is going a little bit under the radar, and that is Dogfighter World War II. This was originally scheduled to release in fall of last year, however, now it's been pushed back and it will be coming out tomorrow. So another free-to-play game being added to the library is something that I'm definitely going to, you know, at least give a chance to, and I think you guys should at least give it a chance. It's the free-to-play multiplayer aircraft battle game Dogfighter World War II, and it's coming to the PlayStation 4. New Sky Battle Royale has arrived. Real dogfighting battle royale based on World War II. Be part of the Grand Sky Battle with warplanes such as Mustang, Spitfire, Zerosen, and customize the way you want with up to 40 players. You are trying to be the ruler of the sky. It's a battle royale based on World War II with stylish directing that no one has experienced. Dogfighter World War II makes you the pilot of warplanes that were used in World War II. While fighting to be the final survivor out of 40 players in Battle Royale, customize your warplane the way you want. Use skins, decals, and wearable items to customize your warplane. Sky Battle Royale with up to 40 players. Dogfight on warplanes that were used in World War II, again, such as Spitfire, BF-109, Mustang, or Zerosen, to become the final survivor on a fierce battlefield. Be smart, be strategic. You don't need to shoot down every last enemy, but stay alive to become the last survivor. And play the historic scenario mode, another mode outside of the traditional multiplayer gameplay. Well-known scenarios based on history are implemented. Experience and immerse yourself into the historic scenarios of World War II. There are a total of 5 scenarios, and more will be added consistently as the game is out. The game first launched all the way back in June of 2019 in Japan and Southeast Asia, and it had full English support then, but now it'll be coming regularly to the West, and it is a free-to-play multiplayer aircraft game. I think people are going to see the Battle Royale tag added onto it, and they are going to inherently be a little bit skeptical, but it's free-to-play. Give it a shot. If you don't like it, well, nothing wasted but a little bit of your time, and if you do like it, well, that's another game to delve into. And it does have an interesting premise from a Battle Royale standpoint. It's only 40 players, not 100 or anything crazy like that. And you do have the scenario mode rounding things out. I do think this could be a relatively compelling game, and it is out tomorrow. Alright, next up, we have Amoeba Battle Microscopic RTS Action. This game looks rather charming. How does one amoeba defeat 1,000? Take control of a sole surviving amoeba and guide it in doing what amoebas do best. Feed to gain strength, multiply to gain numbers, and evolve to gain power. Turn your single-celled survivor into an amoeba army and take back the microscopic world. Amoeba Battle is a new breed of RTS where you control amoebas as they battle against the infection that threatens their realm. Explore beautiful yet alien landscapes to feed and strengthen your fledgling amoebas. Find algae for herbivores, go hunting with carnivores, or just eat everything with omnivores. Unlike any other RTS title, there are no bases to build. Amoebas don't build houses or towns after all. New amoebas are created through the miracle of binary fission. Well-fed amoebas can replicate into 2 identical amoebas, doubling your army with a click. But multiplying amoebas won't always be enough. When the competition gets tough, introduce mutations to evolve your weaker amoebas into stronger species. Experiment with different amoeba combinations to field a diverse force that can face any threat. Experience an innovative real-time strategy game on a never-before-seen scale and battle for primordial supremacy in Amoeba Battle. So this is not taking itself all too seriously. However, it's a very charming game by the looks of it. More of an old-school art style, which is a little bit surprising to me, but nonetheless, still looks rather interesting. It notes cross-platform battle royale, impactful tactical decisions, delightful art style, familiar RTS controls, and take back the microscopic world where you'll stop the infection and destroy its source in the varied and intense 12-mission campaign. New to RTS or perhaps an RTS master, choose from 4 difficulty levels to tailor your experience exactly how you want. I know RTSs and PlayStation doesn't usually go hand in hand, more so a PC genre. However, with different difficulty options, really all I'm hoping for is that controller-wise, it does have a solid controller layout on the PlayStation 4. So Amoeba Battle Microscopic RTS Action will be out tomorrow. And lastly, we have a VR game that looks really good. discover the meditative world of Separation on PlayStation VR. This game looks really great and really emotional in the same token. The PlayStation blog just had a very in-depth post put out about it from Martin Wheeler, developer over at Recluse Industries, development studio of the game, and he noted, quote, "Since losing my father in 2010, I've struggled with episodes of depression. I wanted to create a space where I could explore the feelings of emptiness and loss, perhaps finding some meaning in reflection. Hopefully other people will be able to relate to that too. There is very little narrative, it's a symbolic journey, and you're free to make up your own conclusions about the experience. I feel VR is particularly suited to this, and the immersion reinforces the player experience of isolation, providing an experience of solitude that is increasingly rare in today's hyper-connected world." I feel like in today's gaming climate, in today's climate in general, people are looking for not necessarily even games like this, but more so experiences like this, where you can get a little bit lost, where you can explore your emotions almost, and I feel like with the inclusion of VR, parlay the two elements, the gameplay elements of Separation as well as the elements that PlayStation VR just naturally offer, those go hand in hand and make a game that's perfectly tailor-made towards this kind of experience. He continued by noting, "Of course, game development is seldom straightforward. I had never made a game in VR before, and my limited resources meant I would spend long months struggling with technical issues beyond my expertise, trying to solve problems that normally require a team to effectively navigate. The journey took me well beyond my comfort zone, but I persevered, even as the game went twice, 3 times over its development schedule." That is a very, very unfortunate case, especially when you're dealing with a very small studio. "I had a lot to learn and spend much of the time simply trying to achieve a stable frame rate and shaders that rendered without issue in VR. When funds ran out, I took on part-time jobs to pay rent. I composed and recorded the soundtrack at night, headphones on, sitting at a kitchen table after my family had gone to bed. You'll get there in the end," game dev friends told me at the local meetup in York, but it was hard not to feel that life was passing me by during the 4 long years of solo work on the game. It's hard to take a break or go through illness when there's nobody else to carry things forward in your absence. Despite many setbacks, I did make progress as the game neared completion and I wandered the desolate landscapes of my imagination. I began to feel a sense of peace and acceptance in the virtual world I had made solid. Where does that lead? He's hoping players will find something worth exploring, even if it's just to watch the virtual sun setting behind those desolate rocks, the light fading on the water to an ambient soundtrack. I've learned so much, and hopefully if the game is well received, I'll get the chance to continue building upon it, perhaps with a small team. I hope at the end of it all, somebody will discover their own special place in Separation. So that is quite the emotional development story of the game, and I wanted to relay that to you guys because that is kind of the reality in game development, and the fact that he did go towards a PlayStation VR game even through all of those hurdles. PlayStation VR games, they have potential to sell relatively well because you're working with a smaller pool of games that are coming out. However, at the same time, you're working with a much smaller pool of people that own PlayStation VR. So I just hope like a game like Separation, where it did have some development tumultuous times, it does find some success, and I hope it does. And so far what I've seen out of it does look rather compelling, especially if you're just looking for a world to get lost in. That's gonna conclude this video. Again, while we don't have some major game releases tomorrow, we have Granblue Fantasy Versus, we have Dogfighter World War II, a brand new free-to-play title. We have Amoeba Battle, Microscopic RTS action, and for you PSVR owners, definitely give Separation a look. The developer definitely warranted that at least, and he spent a lot of time, spent a lot of hard work on it, so definitely give that a look. At the very least, check out the PlayStation blog post, as it will give you a deeper insight into the game. That's gonna conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.